Hey guys, ready for the review? Take that as a no. Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Jordan Mears.
And I'm Coty Greenwood.
You're who?
I'm Coty Greenwood.
Yeah, and this is Tavern Talk. We're filling in for Philip this week. And yeah, we just saw MIDSOMMAR, directed by Ari Aster.
Ari Aster.
Ari Aster.
It's not one word.
Ari Aster. Ari.
Director of Hereditary.
Yes. And yeah, let's just
Notable shorts.
yeah. Let's just kick this thing off then. So, what did you think?
What did I think in general?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I am completely biased. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna give a disclaimer because I love Ari Aster already from Hereditary. I'm a big movie horror buff, as you know, and I really loved Hereditary. Sort of like the whole new wave thing of like Hereditary and Jordan Peele's stuff that's been coming out.
Yeah.
And all the very strange horror movies. So I think this was not disappointing.
Okay.
Will be my initial remarks.
Do you feel like you like it better than Hereditary? I mean, I know it's completely different ballpark, but
I wouldn't even want to say. I would say I felt. I would watch Hereditary again before I watched this one, not because I enjoyed it any less or it was less of an experience, just because this one was very painful, just as an
really?
experience.
Okay.
Not in a bad way though. It is a horror movie.
Yeah. All right. I loved it. I loved every single lurid minute of it, and I actually didn't love Hereditary. I liked it, but this one I would probably watch. You know, I would go watch it again right now.
Even with the 150.
150-minute runtime.
I will say it didn't feel like 150 because when you said it was 150, I thought the runtime was gonna feel a lot longer than Hereditary, and it definitely felt like sort of a long experience as a movie, but
yeah,
it didn't feel that long.
No, like it keeps, one thing that I really like about this film is that even though it is such a long runtime, I mean 2.5 hours for a horror film, I mean that's almost unheard of. It keeps it interesting. Like there's never a moment in this film where you're not like looking at your watch or your phone, you know, wondering like when it's gonna get to the good stuff, because it just keeps building and building this mystery, and it's just, I feel like it delivers tenfold.
Definitely. I will note, I noticed that there's like a very mixed demographic of people that showed up for the movie.
For the screening?
And
Yeah.
I noticed how like incredibly quiet it was for basically the whole movie. Really the only noise were like people taking orders.
Well, I heard some snickering at some of the scenes. Like there's some really uncomfortable things in this film, and prolonged uncomfortable scenes, and people were like snickering, you know, to get past that, I guess.
And they were like all out laughs. I think that's just like the stereotypical American things, like we're all so uncomfortable with sex, like compared to Europeans.
It has to do with sex, by the way, so.
There's, spoiler alert, there's sex.
But no, some people actually left. I saw a couple people like leave.
Oh, you did?
Not come back.
When?
Yeah. I want
cool.
to say it was after things started to go downhill for the main characters.
Okay. Yeah.
After the cliff scene. People were like,
okay,
this wasn't the movie we thought it was going to be.
That was pretty early in then.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not notice that.
It's a very graphic film.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you saw Hereditary, you should probably expect.
Yeah. Let's talk about the actors, maybe, the director and some of his, you know, techniques that he uses for the film and what makes them effective.
Right. Well, okay, so we were just talking about Will Porter.
Yeah,
Right? William Porter, maybe? The guy who's just...
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Excuse me.
He is the comedic relief in this film.
He is comedic relief, which I did not expect.
And it works. It works surprisingly well.
I didn't know that he was... I've forgotten that he was in the movie. I didn't know it was going to be like quite that like played forward. And I expected it almost to be a little cheesy after like his first few lines, but I think it worked, especially considering what happens later on.
Yeah, and well, that was ominous, huh? No, so Jack Reynor is also in it, and he did a really great job. At first, you're not sure if you like him, and then you kind of like him, and then you're like, now I don't know if I like him, but it stays very grounded with him, and I feel like his character is one that I want to study more the next time I watch it.
I would agree. Yeah, why particularly would you say that, you think?
I don't know, because he is torn with a decision. This isn't a spoiler alert. He may or may not want to, break up with his girlfriend, but all through, like, he tries to be there for Florence Pugh's character throughout the film, and it's like, okay, it's sweet. He's making an effort, but then sometimes it seems like he's ignoring her and not making an effort, and so it's a very lopsided. It's a very lopsided character. Like you can never really get like a grasp or a feel for who exactly he is.
Right. I will say with him too, I would agree that he was an interesting character and how he developed. I think like a lot of times in horror movies there's this sort of thing that happens with like who's supposed to be like the strong guy that you like follow kind of, and supposed to be like the protector. Yeah. And you almost expect that to be him, and then just absolutely it does not happen. And then it just makes you feel so helpless as the audience.
Florence Pugh's character, and by the way, her acting in this film is incredible.
It's crazy.
It's so good. And I actually just watched her in Fighting with My Family on a flight back like a week or so ago, and I don't think I'd ever really seen her in anything. I was like, okay, she did pretty good in that. Man, she blows it out of the water in this film. She delivers.
She's so young too.
Yeah,
there's her delivery through the whole movie is crazy.
And let's talk a little bit about the story. So for you guys who may not know what the story is about, the story is about a group of college friends who are traveling to Finland, right? It's Helsinki, or it's around there.
Sweden.
Yeah. Sweden. Sweden, Finland, whatever.
They say Sweden. They never actually. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It was not supposed to be like an actual place.
Well, they're traveling to Sweden with one of their buddies who's an exchange student. He's living over and studying anthropology, and he wants to invite them all back to his homeland for their MIDSOMMAR 9-day festival event. And they all decide to go. And with
technically an extra one, which becomes of importance.
Because Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah, wasn't technically supposed to. I don't think that's a spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, because that's kind of in the trailer. Which it just kind of adds to the whole kind of confusion and dismay of the ending.
And also too, this is kind of jumping off track a little bit, the symbolisms. I mean this film is full of symbols already, but like metaphors
everywhere.
And images, even before they get to Sweden, are plastered all over rooms that are kind of foreshadowing things that may come later.
Yes.
Or, oh, this character represents this, and then you see it repeated throughout the film, and it just feels it's a very well-built world.
Extremely.
And story. It's so in-depth, and that's another reason to rewatch it again.
Oh yeah.
There's just so much detail in everything.
Well, I feel like if you're distraught over movies like The Shining not existing anymore, you should just watch these movies, like Ari Aster's movies, because if you watch this movie,
Very Kubrickian.
you could watch it like 30 times over, and
Yeah.
I guarantee there'll be something.
And also too, let's talk a little bit about technique. Like the camera work in this film. The camera work in this film is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like it's virtuosic, really.
I mean, it is. There are shots in it that are completely breathtaking, and then like that upside down shot when they're driving, kind of symbolizing, oh, the world's about to turn upside down, and then it just keeps going with the reverse.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricky filmmaker stuff, which we probably notice.
Yeah, because we're
Photos,
filmmakers.
having gone to film school.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're not, just really paying attention to them, it's just an effect of the movie. It's nothing that's gonna like slap you in the face and say, hey, this is a movie.
Yeah.
But it is very, very clever.
And very
effective.
unsettling too.
Yes.
And studying, and us as filmmakers studying how, okay, why is this making me feel this way?
Right.
And studying it and just the camera placement and the movements and the depth of the actors in place of the scene. Oh man.
Right. Well, that shot you just talked about, I literally thought, well, I know what they're going for here, but then they even took it a step further with the
reverse.
with his like a transition.
The before we wrap it up, I just want to. It's a horror film, and so people who are watching this, they're going to be horror buffs, and they're going to be like, well, I really like horror films, but is this a horror film for me? What would you say to the people watching? Like,
I would say
it's not Saw,
It is definitely not Saw. Not to see Saw if you say that. not to say if you like Saw that you wouldn't like these.
It's gross. It's gross.
It has those gross moments. That's definitely not the main reason to watch it, I think, if you're in for that. I would say if you're pumped about going to see Annabelle, and that's your thing, maybe skip this one.
This one, I would kind of put this in the ballpark of The Shining. Like, it's a sophisticated horror film.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot.
It's a horror film for adults. Like, it's got kind of a slower pace. It just moves at its own, and it's never in any rush to get where it's going.
And not to say that Annabelle is not for adults. I think they're both.
I mean, it's a fine film.
They're fine movies because that's
Toy Story
for
adults.
children. You're right. Just because they're very different subject matters, and it's just a different experience. So if you're up for it, I say go for it, because there's not another movie that's been made like it.
Yeah. I mean, Wicker Man, it's kind of in that realm of Wicker Man. It's not the Nick Cage one.
The first one.
Not the Nick Cage one. That one's just comedic fodder.
Sorry, Nick Cage.
All right, so out of 5, what do you give Hereditary. MIDSOMMAR.
MIDSOMMAR, I'm gonna give it a 5. This is right up my alley. So I've already said it. I'm biased. I'm gonna give it 5 stars out of 5 every time. What about you?
I give it a 5. I'm gonna give it like perfect. Yeah.
That's the Oscar.
I think that it's probably one of the strongest horror films that I've seen this year, and probably will see this year. It's got like a singular voice. The director has a strong vision, and he delivers on it. And the actors are all incredible. The story, even though it's slow moving, it always keeps it interesting, and you're never wanting for more.
Right.
Although I would totally, if they made like a sequel,
a 3-hour version.
I mean, like, I want to find out what happens to some people like after this festival's over. Like,
that's interesting.
Like, it leaves you kind of in a headspace of like, well, what's next? But it does. I recommend it. He recommends it.
We both recommend it.
Go see it. So yeah, this has been another episode of Tavern Talk. I'm Jordan Mears.
Coty Greenwood.
Be sure to. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to.
like, subscribe.
Be
Smash that like button.
be sure to like, subscribe. Come check out Movie Tavern. They've got everything that you need. Get your food, your booze, and your movie.
That's all you need.
Exactly. So yeah, be sure to check out some of the other reviews on the channel as well. And also, there's a new Spider-Man review that's accompanying this one, so be sure to check that out too. And yeah, thanks for watching.